Bandits abduct women in Kano. Again, bandits strike Kwara community, abduct 11 residents. Newly married woman accused of killing husband in Katsina. And on the foreign scene, Ugandan opposition says over 300 supporters detained in presidential campaign. Hello, good evening and welcome to news updates on Trust TV. I am Dorcas Yakubuzala. We begin with security matters. Armed bandits on Monday night abducted at least 8 persons in a village located in Enyawa local government area of Kano State. Confirming the incident to Daily Trust, a reliable source who craved anonymity said the assailants raided the village between 11 p.m. and midnight. A relative of some of the victims, Kabir Usman, said the attackers struck and took the victims from neighboring Tsundu village. He further disclosed that community members tried to repel the attack but were quickly overwhelmed. He added that residents had alerted the police and military after receiving prior warnings that the bandits were heading toward the villages. Usman called on the government to ensure the safe return of the kidnapped residents. Kano State Police Public Relations Officer SP Abdullahi Kiawa was yet to respond to inquiries at the time of filing this report. Now, the abductors of 13 teenage female farmers in Borno State are demanding 10 million naira ransom, according to family members. Trust TV had reported how ISWAP terrorists abducted the female farmers on Saturday. Speaking to our correspondent on Tuesday, a relative of one of the abductees said they contacted one of the female farmers who regained freedom. He said the demand put forward by the assailants has thrown the community into a very difficult situation. He appealed to the government and well-to-do in the society to help in facilitating the release of the young girls currently suffering in the hands of the abductors. When contacted, a spokesman of Borno State Police Command, ASP Nahum Kenneth Daso, said he was not aware of the development but promised to reach out for updates and revert. A false alarm raised late Monday night by students of Government Girls College Maiduguri sparked widespread panic after claims circulated that unknown gunmen had invaded the school's hostel. The Borno State government and security operatives swiftly intervened, confirming that no intruders were present and that the alert was unfounded. Commissioner for Education, Science and Technology and Innovation, Lawan Abawekilbe, urged students, parents and the public to remain calm, assuring that enhanced security measures have now been put in place across the school. Similarly, Police Public Relations Officer ASP Kenneth Nahum Daso reaffirmed the Commissioner's statement, noting that officers have been deployed to maintain peace and prevent any recurrence.
It was at exactly about 7:30 where I received a distress call that there's commotion in this school. So my house is just some minutes away. We drove in and we discovered a number of girls outside. So upon inquiry, they said they saw some male guys, unknown guys, jumping into the school. So naturally, the instinct as a teacher kicked. I said, let us go and show me where the place is. When we went, there was nothing. It is just a rumor that created panic and created pandemonium. So immediately, the Nigerian police and the Nigerian security team responded.
It is our responsibility to ensure the safety of school. We have the Deputy Commissioner of Police Operation, who is currently on ground, ensuring that the security architecture of this school is properly placed. And we have the coordinator for the Safer School, who is also here in ensuring that every personnel are deployed at strategic locations to ensure the safety not only for this school, but for other schools who are around the state entirely.
The closure of schools in some states over rising security concerns has continued to draw reactions from residents of Ningi local government area in Bauchi State. The action has brought all school activities to a halt just as students were preparing for first-term examinations. Trust TV's Adamu Imam completes the report.
Following recent abductions of school girls in Kebbi and Niger State and the killing of police officers in Bauchi by armed bandits, authorities have ordered the closure of learning institutions. Many residents of Bauchi welcome the move, describing it as timely and necessary for the safety of students. Honestly, the authorities have done what is expected by taking prompt action to close schools as a precaution. We are not against that. Recently, armed bandits even killed police officers in an ambush. So closing schools is the right decision until the security situation in the country stabilizes. Until we have a safe and conducive environment, our children cannot go to school for learning. What the government did is okay with us. The security challenges from one place to another is unfortunate. Something could happen at any time. So this is a good decision. Our children can continue their education later, while we keep praying for the country.
We are not happy about school being closed, but at the same time, it is important to protect our education. Honestly, we need better security in our schools.
We hope that as citizens, we hope that the government will be up and doing with a view to resolving the situation, coming up with solution to the insecurity that necessitated the closure of the schools.
Closing schools is about putting proper measures on ground in order to curtail the insecurity, not just closing schools. So our calls for the government is the government should see the need and doing everything humanly possible in order to come into the head of not just Nigerian students but the Nigerian citizens as a whole. We are fed up with this issue of insecurity.
In response to the growing insecurity, the federal government has announced plans to recruit a large number of police and paramilitary personnel. This initiative, in collaboration with state governments, aims to curb the rising tide of insecurity affecting the nation. Adamu Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
Now, bandits have struck the Isapa community of Ekiti local government area of Kwara State, abducting 11 residents. The gunmen, numbering more than 20, stormed the community with a large herd of cattle on Monday, firing shots indiscriminately. An elderly woman was reportedly hit by a stray bullet during the incident. A community leader who confirmed the incident under anonymity said 11 people were abducted, with 7 victims belonging to the same family. The kidnapped victims include a pregnant woman, 2 nursing mothers, and several young children. Eyewitness accounts said the attackers moved through parts of the town, leaving bullet holes in walls and doors. Still talking security, police in Katsina are probing a suspected murder in Jibia town, the headquarters of Jibia local government area. The incident happened on Sunday. A newly married woman, Zainab Muhammad, is accused of killing her husband, a local businessman, Abubakar Dangaski. Trust TV's Abdullahi Yamadi visited the community and now reports.
Jibia had only started settling after years of bandit attacks. Residents were easing into a fragile calm. Then another tragedy broke that sense of relief. Sundays are usually busy here. The border market draws traders from Nigeria and Niger Republic. But on Sunday, 23rd November 2025, the town was shaken by the news that businessman Abubakar Dangaski had been killed. People say the day started normally. Then word spread that Abubakar's body had been found with a deep cut on his neck. Fear gripped the area. Markets closed early. Residents gathered in confusion. Zainab Muhammad had married Abubakar just 3 days earlier. Their story, according to neighbors, goes back years. They were in a relationship before Zainab married another man last year. She later left that marriage and reconnected with Abubakar. The two eventually married last Thursday. What happened afterwards remains unclear. Some residents suggest Zainab may have been influenced by a spiritual condition. Others suspect drugs after bottles of a substance believed to be codeine were found in the house. Zainab Muhammad is now in police custody and is being questioned. Family members of Abubakar say they want justice from security agencies and right groups. Dangaski was my brother and close friend. They got married last Thursday. Some guests were still around when this happened. We found bottles of what looked like drugs in the house. We just want justice. That's why we didn't take the law into our hands. When I heard the news, I rushed to the house. I met him in a pool of blood with a deep cut on his neck. I reported it to the police. I want authorities to investigate this case properly and honestly. We want justice, and we will keep pushing until it is achieved. Police spokesperson DSP Sadiq Aliu confirmed the incident and the arrest of the suspect. He says investigations are ongoing.
Instantly, our detectives were drafted to the scene, where they rushed to the location and they found the victim motionless in a pool of blood, and without delay they rushed the victim to the nearest hospital for immediate medical attention, where he was confirmed dead by the doctor on duty. So far we have one suspect in custody, suspected to be in connection with the commission of the offense, and investigations are underway to unravel the circumstances surrounding the death of this groom, and further development will be communicated as the investigation proceeds.
Attempts to speak with Zainab's family were not successful. Experts say rising cases of domestic killings in Nigeria point to the need for drug integrity tests for intending couples, an idea the NDLEA has been pushing. Abdullahi Izumayamadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
And moving on to more stories, according to the World Population Review, Nigeria now has one of the largest homeless populations in the world, an estimated 24 million people, the highest in Africa. This growing crisis reflects deepening social and economic challenges affecting millions across the country. In this report, Trust TV's Noel Sampson examines the rising homelessness figures and speaks with relevant stakeholders on the way forward. The report.
Nigeria's homeless population is estimated at 24 million, far ahead of Egypt's 12 million and the DR Congo. The Central Bank of Nigeria reported in 2019 that only 10% of Nigerians who hope to own a home can afford one, compared to 70% in the United States and 78% in the United Kingdom. The gap is staggering. In Abuja, the realities were visible. People sleep under bridges, in plazas, mosques, churches, uncompleted buildings, and on the streets. Among them are Fatima Inu and her children, as well as Muhammad Usman and Muhammad Abubakar, all parts of Nigeria's 24 million homeless citizens.
I fled from my house in Zamfara after Boko Haram attacked us, killed my husband, and set her house on fire. I came to Abuja in search of better opportunities, but it has not been easy at all. I sleep by the roadside with my children, whether it rains or the sun is scorching.
I left Taraba for Abuja. I lost all my money. I came here hoping to find any job I could do. But so far, I haven't been successful. I can't afford a place to stay, so I sleep at the central mosque every night. I came to Abuja because Boko Haram killed my dad and siblings. Right now, I don't even know where the rest of my family is. I survive by doing any laboring job I can find. I don't have a house here in Abuja. I sleep inside a mosque located in a plaza at Wusetu. Experts say the rising numbers stem from a complex mix of social and economic pressures, including rural-urban migration, unemployment, deprivation, and rapid population growth. Three major factors stand out in Nigeria. First is population growth, currently at 2.6%, one of the fastest globally. This has intensified migration into cities where housing is already inadequate. Real estate developer Ikena Valentine explained how the crisis can be addressed, or residents also share their views.
That if the government can give us loan through the loan institutions owned by the government, we can be able to embark on such projects and build sustainable mass housing projects for low-income earners. That is number one. Number two, if the cost of building materials can at least come down a little bit, it will contribute massively in reducing the cost of housing projects.
If they crash the rising cost of foodstuff, people will be able to save money. And once they save money, what they will now look into is how to use it to develop a home where they are going to live.
Distribution of amenities, social amenity in the towns, in the local areas. You see that you can stay elsewhere. You cannot come to urban center before you do your business, before you eke out a living.
With more than 133 million Nigerians facing multidimensional poverty, shrinking incomes and inflation continue to make rent unaffordable, pushing many into homelessness. Despite calls for mortgage and credit reforms, access remains limited as only 10% of aspiring home earners can afford a home, as the existing system largely favors wealthy buyers. With the Federal Mortgage Bank weakened by funding gaps and alleged corruption, more Nigerians now live in uncompleted buildings, open fields, and other unsafe places.
First and foremost, we must look at the root cause in terms of the solution. One, it is clear that there is economic inequalities in Nigeria. What brings about economic inequality is about unemployment. People are not well employed. Skill is actually reduced. People don't have skills to actually work. So if you can create employment opportunity, people would have been where they are and actually work. It boils down to the government now to project that in the next 20 years, these are what we are going to do. Government is doing kind of federal housing. How many persons, how many Nigerians can actually afford it? So there must be a scheme that they will bring about that will help Nigerians through private sector driven.
However, this story took an unexpected turn when we met a man named Nuru Aminu from Rinji, Sokoto State. Introduced to us by other homeless individuals, they explained that he has been in Abuja for only 15 days and sleeps at the Abuja Central Mosque. He has lost contact with his family and carries his school certificates and international passport expiring in 2028. He appears slightly mentally unstable and has suffered harsh treatment from passers-by. Those who know him plead that if his family sees this report, they should come for him. Until meaningful reforms are implemented and the economy stabilizes, Nigeria's homelessness crisis is likely to deepen. Well, Samson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
In other news, the Nigerian Army says troops of the 12th Brigade have intercepted a major drug courier and recovered a large consignment suspected to be cannabis sativa in Kogi State. In a statement posted on its X handle on Tuesday, the Army said the interception is part of ongoing operations to disrupt criminal activity and block the movement of illicit substances linked to banditry and violent crimes. The feat took place on Monday when troops at the Agbede response area conducted a routine stop and search on a Toyota Camry with registration number DKA 158AU traveling from Ekiti State to Obajana. The vehicle, driven by one Johnson Ayo, reportedly had a branded police hat and belt displayed on the dashboard, which raised suspicion during the check. A thorough search of the car led to the discovery of 10 sacks of cannabis sativa weighing 108.8 kilograms concealed inside the vehicle. According to the Army, preliminary investigation suggested that large-scale drug movements of this nature provided financial support for criminal networks and fueled activities that often escalated into banditry across the state and neighboring areas. Now in business, the Monetary Policy Committee of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has detained the country's monetary policy rate at 27%. The CBN governor, Olayemi Cardoso, announced this at a press conference during the committee's 303rd meeting in Abuja. The MPR serves as a baseline interest rate in an economy. Other interest rates used within the economy are built on it. The Monetary Policy Committee also committed to maintaining a tight monetary stance. The MPC pegged the cash reserve ratio at 45% for commercial banks, 16% for merchant banks, and 75% on non-TSA public sector deposits. It also maintained the liquidity ratio at 30%, adjusting the standing facilities corridor to plus 50 minus 450 basis points around the MPR. According to the committee, the decisions reflect its focus on achieving low and stable inflation as it welcomed the continued deceleration in headline inflation driven by sustained monetary tightening, stable exchange rates, and PMS price stability. Now away from Nigeria, security forces in Uganda have detained more than 300 supporters and officials from the party of opposition presidential candidate Bobi Wine since campaigning for a January election kicked off last month, his party's spokesperson said on Tuesday. Pop star turned politician Wine, whose real name is Robert Kyagulanyi, is challenging 81-year-old President Yoweri Museveni for the second time after coming second in the last election in 2021. Now Africa's fourth longest ruling leader, Museveni's government has changed the constitution twice to remove age and term limits, allowing him to remain in office since 1986. The arrests included scores detained this week in the capital, Kampala, where Wine began campaigning on Monday. Joel Senyonyi, spokesperson for Wine's party, National Unity Platform, told Reuters. The majority of those detained are ordinary supporters, but also include campaign coordinators, Wine's aides, and other officials, he said. At a rally in Kampala's Kawempe area on Monday, security forces used tear gas and fire cannon to disperse a crowd of Wine supporters, video aired by local broadcaster N10m showed. In sports, English Women's Super League WSL clubs Aston Villa, Brighton and West Ham United are vying for the signature of Fortuna Hurricane striker Joy Owema. Owema has been in fantastic form for Fortuna Hurricane this season. The Nigeria international has netted 13 times in 14 league appearances for the club. A 22-year-old has also scored 7 goals in Europe. According to Soccer Donor, Omewa has drawn interest from the 3 clubs ahead of the winter transfer window. The forward recently earned an invitation to the Super Falcons and made her debut against the Amazons of Benin Republic last month. Her compatriot Chiamaka Nadozie is currently on the books of Aston Villa, which could give them an edge. And that's a wrap on News Update. Do not forget to follow us across all social media platforms for more programs, news, and documentaries. I am Dorcas Yakubuzala. Thank you for watching.